And hello, everyone, and welcome to On the Clock. My name is John Fitzgerald, and I'm your host for the broadcast. In conjunction with the British and Irish Trading Alliance, I'm delighted to bring you this episode of On the Clock, which is all about bringing interesting people and interesting topics together. And today is no exception. Our interesting person today is Jeremy Brown, and our interesting topic is one that is relevant to all of us: plastic pollution. Both Jeremy and I are part of the BITA Global Forum, which stretches from San Francisco through Europe and all the way to Australia and New Zealand. Plastic pollution is an issue we are all concerned about, and action is needed. A little bit about our guest today to start. Jeremy is co-founder of Ocean Protect and based in Sydney, Australia, close to Bondi Beach, in fact, which we probably all know. And their mission is to stop pollution entering the waterways. He's a born and bred Kiwi with a passion for the environment, and Ocean Protect is almost 10 years old. During this time, Jeremy identified a need to evolve the conversation about waterway health to include how urban pollution, including plastic, gets into our waterways. He has led lots of innovative projects focused on creating cost-effective ways to protect the environment. And by combining his technical expertise with his passion for the environment, Jeremy has led the sector and regularly participates in industry groups and conferences. Jeremy, welcome.
John, thank you for having me, all the way from Wanaka, New Zealand. Excited to be on the show.
Great stuff. Thank you. Look, Jeremy, the On the Clock format is very simple. It's a quick fire question and answer session to get an insight into a person and how they feel about a particular issue. Some serious questions, some not so serious questions, I promise. And look, we'll take about 10 minutes today, so nothing too onerous. So, Jeremy, are you ready?
Born ready, John, born.
What advice did you get that was the most rewarding in your life so far?
Advice. Hold the line. A guy by the name of Jim Lenhart, who's a dear friend and mentor, always hold the line of doing the right thing. You can come close to it, but if you hold the line and hold your credibility, you might lose a few games, but you'll win the battle. So credibility and holding that technical line.
What does success look like at Ocean Protect?
What does it look like now? I'm not really sure. Success is for us is as a group of people coming together. We're sort of 40 or 50 strong now. It's getting the job done. It's not a monetary thing. We've gone away from that. Money is important. Sure, it feeds people and families and lifestyles. But we're here to do a job and make sure that stormwater runoff is on front of mind when it comes to governments and people. Stormwater is not a particular sexy sort of issue, but by bringing it up and having a good conversation about it and making people aware, I guess, would be my form of success, or our form of success.
What makes you angry when you think about pollution?
What makes me angry is that it's an easily fixable problem, and one where if we all concentrate on it, it's an achievable problem to fix. It's not like global warming, where is it happening, is it not, how do we fix it? Stopping pollution entering our creeks, rivers and oceans is an easy stop. So it does make me angry when people go, oh well, it's not my problem, it's it's someone else's problem.
Yeah. What motivates you to advocate for a clean environment, Jeremy?
Again, going back to a really fixable problem, this is pollution in our waterways is something that we can easily stop. So I guess that, that would be my biggest motivation. This is an easy problem to stop.
Your top 3 predictions for the future of the environment?
It's going to get warmer. It's going to get more unpredictable weather. And I think the ice is going to melt faster than we think.
Is plastic good or bad, and why?
I think plastic in the health sector is a good thing. Plastic has got good uses for it. I think the oil companies have pushed single-use plastic onto human beings or onto civilization. We have absorbed that. We're used to it. We're used to going down to Coles or Woolies or convenience stores and getting a quick bit of lunch. So I think we're used to single-use plastic, but we've certainly been forced to use it. So,
What causes ocean pollution?
Look, there's a number of things that cause it, but if you look at from the research that we see, there's a number of things. So there's atmospheric pollution, so literally plastic getting whipped up from big cities going out. There's obviously stormwater runoff, which is a major contributor. 80% of pollution actually comes from land-based sources. So whether it's air pollution or water pollution, we're literally choking our oceans.
How can we prevent ocean pollution due to plastics?
Well, we're going to stop using it, John. It's pretty simple. Get used to it. Get your water bottle. Reduce the amount that we're using. But we also need to protect our creeks, rivers, and oceans. Remembering, a little creek turns into a river turns into goes into the ocean. So we really need to stop not only plastic, but everything else that goes down our drains from entering our environment, because once it gets there, it's very hard to mop it up.
Do some countries allow more plastic pollution than others?
Yeah, and some countries have better infrastructure to deal with it. I recently nearly a year ago, did a endurance event in Nusa Lombongan Island in Bali, and they simply don't have any recycling facilities to even get the plastic out of the rubbish system and then recycle it. So third world countries find it very hard to deal with plastic. First world countries, well, if you call Australia and New Zealand a first world country, we've got decent facilities, but still we're not doing a very good job. I think we only recycle roughly 9% of plastic globally, so we've got to do a better job there.
Where do microplastics come from?
Well, as the name says, micro, it comes from macro, big bits of plastic. So actually a recent study, 35 or 36% of microplastics in our oceans actually comes from clothing. So every time you wash your clothes, little bits of plastic out of the fibers are actually going down into the wastewater system, and our current wastewater systems are not set up to take out microplastics. So look, it's everywhere. It's in the air. It's in our creeks. It's in our wastewater system. It's just everywhere.
What advancements are being made in recycling plastic, Jeremy?
Not a lot. I know Singapore burns or incinerates their plastic waste, but we've been led to believe that all plastic is, recyclable. That's not the case. It's very, very difficult, and each individual bit of plastic has got its different ability to recycle. So, it's very, very hard to recycle plastic at a high level. We're not going to recycle our way out of this problem. That's one thing I do know for sure.
You're on TV, Jeremy, and the whole world can magically see and hear you. What is your message?
Hope. We can stop polluting and killing our environment. It's a very easy choice, but it's an individual choice. So when you look at a big problem, if you start with yourself and fixing the little 1%ers and making little changes in your daily life. If you do that and tell a friend, and a friend tells a friend, next thing you know, we've got a whole army of people.
If the Australian and New Zealand governments gave Ocean Protect $100 million tomorrow, what would you do with the money and what would you try to change?
Wow, $100 million, that's a lot of money. Look, it's all for Ocean Protect, it's about education, it's science communication. I'm lucky enough to have a lot of people around me that are very, very smart. I like to say I'm the dumbest one in my company, because that's what you want to do. Sharing the knowledge and getting data out to give people, the ability to choose, have a choice. A lot of people don't even know how pollution gets out into our oceans. Even a lot of politicians don't know that. So, I'd spend a lot of money on education, getting out to the general public. Number two, I would certainly protect our creeks and rivers and oceans a lot better than what we are. We think we're roughly treating 5 to 10% of the urban environment in Australia. So there is a huge amount of an urban area that's literally untreated. So every time it rains, it goes down our drains, it collects all the rubbish that we as humans pollute, whether that's intentionally or unintentionally. So yeah, education, put more infrastructure in, would be my two things.
Jeremy, you've been a terrific guest today on the Clock. Thank you so much for your time. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. Jeremy Brown, all the best for now. We'll see you soon, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, John.